Ladies and gents, I welcome you back to the Legend of Liar Part 2. This is the second edition with a focus on a player who lies to his opponents. Now, it's just a little fib here or there, and it's just a fib that says, I might not know what I'm doing, but it was a good laugh, and this user actually left a comment on the original video, so I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to show you not only his attempt at doing the same thing again, but how he had to change his strategy. And then maybe, just maybe, a brand new legend appears at the end of this video. So let's dive in. First off, I'm going to read this message from him. He says, "Hi, T90, I can't believe you actually posted my games. My friend showed me this 20 elephant strat and added a couple of things to make it look funnier. Whenever I play this strat, I always have a couple of friends in Discord channel streaming just to have some laughs. My next strat was going to be to ask to pause the game to look at the Malay tech tree to even soften my opponent more, but I guess I can't do it anymore since you exposed me. My friend literally said to me yesterday that if I continue this strat, T90 is going to spectate me. Anyway, sorry for all the victims, and I will probably slowly return to 12 or 1300 elo. Rip my road to 1600. So, seems like a nice guy, right? And I don't know how much he watches my videos personally. Obviously, he's seen at least one. But guys, this game right here was about 6 hours after I uploaded that video. And this will be one of 3 games. Trust me when I say you will want to see all of them. Now, because of the fact that we are seeing 3 games, and because there's a couple key points throughout this, throughout each game that I want to get to, there might be portions where I speed up a little bit. This is arena. This is typically where players go fast castle. Now, in the past, what MSG would do is he would chat up his opponent here. I'm going to speed up, and we'll see if he does that. Yeah. This whole video, guys, I'm so pumped for this and also the rest of the recordings I'm going to do tonight and upload to you guys soon. Yeah. The YouTube channel has been good recently, but it has not been great. And there were many months in the past where I had content stacked and was really staying on top of it. But I'm back, boys. I'm back. This is going to be fun. So does he say anything here? Oh, here we go. Here it is. Here's the lie. Hey, man, how are you? Gentleman says, hey there. You okay? Question mark. Now, they have to actually play the game, right? Because I don't know, man. I wanted Magyard. And Red says, oh. Now, remember, if you didn't see the first video, he would always say he wanted... He means to say Magyars, but he gets the typo every time. Red just says, oh. Remember, about 6 or 7 hours before this game, I uploaded The Legend of the Liar. It had a lot of clicks initially. Just keep that in mind. It is arena. Red is Burmese, and a strat you can go for with Burmese is Fast Castle Arambai. You can go for Scouts into Monks. You can go for Booming. Blue's just chatting him up. The whole idea is to make Red think he doesn't know what he's doing. Make the opponent overconfident. Just a harmless little lie. He just says ups. Now, I showed some of these games on stream. I actually investigated everything on stream, and it was an absolute blast. The 3 games that I will be showing you, 2 of which I did show on stream. The third one, no one has ever seen before. Trust me, you'll want to see that, but because I witnessed some things live, I wanted to go through so I could explain things properly for you guys. Getting back to doing my YouTube-only casts. The gentleman just said, oh. Now, I could be wrong. Nowadays, we have a lot of people who frequent my stream. But I'm fairly certain I've seen the gentleman spelled like that in my Twitch chat many a times over the last 2 years. And if that's the case, it might be someone who maybe saw the video. Should I feel bad? Alright, let's see. What's he doing? MSG, he wants to go fast castle, and he wants to make stables. He wants to make those elephants. And it's just a YOLO elephant rush. It's 20 elephants in 20 minutes. And it's all the rage right now. And he would just idle his town center. He wouldn't create any more villagers, and he would just go for it. Now, on a hideout, it's a lot easier to perform that move. Because on hideout, there's just palisade walls. So here, stone walls is going to be more difficult. But I have heard from users in my community who said, T90, MSG, he killed me. He killed me on arena with the strategy, so it's not like he hasn't done it before. Gentleman seems to be going fast castle. No surprises. Building a blacksmith and now building a market. Now, well, I have a lot to say. Let's just say that. Appreciate your patience. This arena can be very boring. Now, wait a second. All Red sees is the opponent has a mining camp on gold. And he's making a second layer of stone wall behind his stone walls. Did we ruin it? I'm so sorry. Like, not only is he making a second layer of stone walls, but he's even making stone walls behind his houses. So he has a layer here and a layer here of houses, and he's still making stone walls behind it. Almost like he's expecting something. Now, the castle's kind of normal, but typically what you do is you would make a castle here. You would boom. He's going for a monastery. Again, not out of the ordinary, really, to go for monks with the Arambai. But the second layer of stone wall is a little bit suspicious. We'll see. Let's see if Blue has a comment on that as well. Blue's on the way to Castle Age now. And Blue has a lot more eco than he did in the games I uploaded. I think he was at 26 or 28 villagers. Here he's gone for 19 minutes. Maybe he wants to have more food and more gold to produce the elephants. Again, he also is going to need the economy to make siege, so he's making the siege workshop. And yeah, the elephants are cheap, but they're elephants after all. They're pretty tanky, and you'll need a lot of them to break through stone walls. Now, as far as Blue can see, this is going perfectly according to plan. I mean, there's stone walls there. He can break through that. Red is making a second castle behind the walls. Like, again, it is likely that Red saw the video. This all but confirms it, right? I've not spoke to the gentleman to confirm. I have not asked for a comment from him, but either he plays really safe, or maybe he got a heads up somewhere. I mean, I don't know what YouTuber would make videos on unorthodox Age of Empires strategies and upload them. That sounds like such a lame thing to do. Honestly, that guy's probably an awful farmer and makes hilarious jokes on a regular basis. And also has a great mustache going right now. I try and believe. Okay, so here comes the pressure from Blue. Now, if you remember, Blue would go for Light Cav. Blue would go for the Elephantos. He would make Light Cav just in the event that there are a few monks there, or if the enemy were to immediately make monks to counter. Now, truthfully, you look at the positions. Red is ahead in eco because he's not idling this TC, and it took Blue a long time to get here anyways. So Arambai should be pretty good against these elephants because they have such high base attack and they have the mobility. So here comes Blue, and he's just thinking, all right, forget about the Arambai. We're going to run past and go into the eco, but there's another layer of stone walls there. Now, he's got to be thinking, wait, what? Now, again, I assume at this point, he himself did not hear about the video. I would assume so. I haven't looked at the exact time of the comment, the exact time of the upload, the exact time of the match. All I know is that this was about 6 to 8 hours after I uploaded it.
Yep.
He's going to take a house down, but MSG in my mouth is trying to go for this strategy, which has worked so well. And he didn't win every time. But here, he's hitting a brick wall, or a stone wall, I suppose, and not really able to make it past here. And now Arambai aren't that great against rams, but there's enough of them that will take those rams down. And you look back at his base, guys, he has not been focusing on eco. Now he had some vills, but this is where he's thinking, wait, what? All right, so I'm actually going to speed it up again. Now, again, in Red's defense, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he just played really defensive, and Arambai 2 Castle is a thing nowadays that's stupidly broken because almost nothing kills Arambai in this number in Castle Age. He's just been on 1 TC, but he's actually been producing. There's aspects of this which are certainly not perfect, like not getting horse collar, not getting wheelbarrow. He's just going to plug the gap here, and he's still making lots and lots and lots of Aaron buy. And so now Blue, he's actually going to change his strategy. He's going to adapt a little bit. That's something we saw in that first episode, and something we may or may not see in this video. But yeah, he's going to go for some skirmishers, which truthfully are very good against Aaron buy. But when there's this many Aaron buy, you're going to need more skirmishers than 2. And I am, again, just going to speed up here because this is just to set the stage for what really happens in this second episode and second edition of The Legend of Liar. Red is microing like a nerd. I mean that in a good way. And Blue says GG. And Red calls the GG. Those walls, though, I think he meant to say. Gentleman says 2 castle, need time. And Blue is just skeptical. He says, why would you think to wall twice? And then that's where the chat ends. So I don't know if Blue saw the video or if Red saw the video before this match. But something there makes me think that Blue was thinking, they're on to me. How are they on to me? How did this work? Now, Red, he brings up an excellent point. 2 castles is big investment. You need time. But can't you just build the 2? Couldn't you typically just build the castles behind your already free stone walls and be fine? Against any push, building 2 castles behind the walls is more than fine. But maybe it's 1300 logic. Maybe he's just like, oh, I didn't even know that guy did that. Who cares? All right. So bear with me here. I do edited content at times, but you guys are going to get to look at my recorded games and how many I have from this player. And this is the next game we are going to hop into. This is the one that was a couple days after it all went down on YouTube. And MSG, I need to pause here, changed his strategy, okay? He changed his strategy. He no longer picked Malay. He instead went for Persians. What do you think he has in mind if he is still going to be trolly? Let's see. We have in the red, I'm going to actually cast this one. We have MSG in my mouth. Just Savior's in the blue. Just Savior is Goths, and he calls him out on it. He says, good luck, have fun, no Malay today. I love this community. I love you guys. Now watch red. He says, hey, man. No, man. I was in bathroom. Couldn't choose Civ. Rip. Like it was just some accident. And now Just Savior says, I know what this is. And truly doesn't believe the guy. Because he probably saw the video where he lied the first time. It's hilarious to me how Red's response to being called out for being the liar is to then lie. I think there's maybe some psychology majors out there could verify if that's the case in reality. But in video games, man, that's just freaking hilarious. And that means, as he has his own little tagline here, he says, at least Persians have good cavalries. That means that we are going to see a Persian douche, otherwise known as a TC drop. Now, guys, I cannot show you a dozen games in one video. So before this madness goes down, all I'm going to tell you is that we did watch more games from MSG in my mouth, and he picked Persians pretty frequently for the space of about 5 to 6 days. He since has changed that, so he's not doing that anymore, which makes me feel better about showing this to you guys because I don't want to ruin the man's career, you know? So anyways, he's no longer doing that frequently, but for about a week he did. And every single time he played, the lie was the same and the typos were the same. He spelled cavalries the same way. He said, hey man, I was in the bathroom, forgot to choose Civ every time. That's just what he does with his lie. 1300 rated player, Blue, expects to be TC dropped. He's already placing a house here in front of his TC. He is Goths, a great Civ. The Civ that you get to any point in the game with half-decent economy, you can spam that infantry. But check this out. Blue, he has watched TC drops. He knows that, wait a second, if he's going to try and drop a TC, I can place little palisade walls everywhere. Now, Rubenstock, the grand doucher himself, pro player from Finland, who is the best at this, I asked him about this. I said, should players place palisades in houses? And Rubenstock's response was, he said, it never works. It always makes the defender look like a fool. I have since seen examples in high-level games, and you guys might have seen that as well if it's been uploaded to the channel. But Red actually shows up here, sees the palisades, and sees the house. And Just Savior sees that he's scouting it, and Just Savior says, yes, yes, 11. Ha 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 ha. The 11 is laughter. Don't clip that, but... So he's like, oh, I know what you're going to do, buddy. I know you're a liar. I saw you on the tube. Come at me. He weakens the TC with his, weakens the boar with his TC. Hopefully there's no boars weakening your TC. And he takes out the boar with his vills, and he's going to make a barracks. And for the most part, this is pretty standard stuff. The Red's base, villagers are coming forward. 11 villagers coming forward, excuse me, 10. Right? 10. Is he still going to do it? Is he going to commit to the trick? Now, he said that his buddies like to hang out with him in Discord as he does this, and they have a good laugh. I can just hear his buddy Jeff giggling right now. As he deletes his TC at home, he's going to rebuild one. Surprise! There's still space. And Just Savior, who prepared all of these palisades and houses, has the TC going up next to him. Persian town centers have 4,800 HP. And Just Savior just says 11. Probably laughing at himself here, like, oops, I should have stopped that. I love Just Savior. He seems like such a chill guy. He says, I miscalculated 11. I love how, in the middle of war, they take to the keyboards to type and talk to each other. Well, we don't have voice chat, and that's probably a good thing. But I like how, in the middle of having to do so much, he decided to chat. Well... He's still in Dark Age. He was making militia. He's got 3 of them now. He might make 4. And this is where things get messy, guys. Also, this is so much worse than a normal town center drop because he needs to get wood to build another TC or to repair his. His lumber camp is forward. Worst case scenario when it comes to this. He just doesn't seem to know what to do. Now, I did look at Just Savior's profile, and he had quite a few losses leading up to this game. I'm not sure what his day was like. We might hear about that here in a moment, but MSG in my mouth, TC forward. Guys, this is a legit strat. So many people have been telling me recently that players are getting better at it at mid to low levels. Because this town center, if you have food eco at home, it continues to create villagers. And Blue's cannot. And Blue says the sad part is, and what he probably said there is that Age of Empires 2 devs treat us like we're 12-year-olds, so we can't say swear words. He probably said, I expected the douche the entire time, and it still worked. And douche probably got bleeped. I knew you were going for that strategy. And Red says, ha ha ha, sorry. The Savior says, failed. 11, don't worry. Props to Just Savior. He seems like a stand-up guy. Did you know you were featured on T90? Now, this is very important. Don't read this. Okay, I know you're going to read it anyway, so I'll read it. Red says, he destroyed my career. I'm so sorry. Salam. Just Savior says, I know, right? 11, man, whelp. These guys are having a bro moment in the middle of war. MSG in my mouth says, I have this 100% win rate easy. So he found the new strategy, and he said that I ruined his career with the previous one. So I have a question for you, YouTube. Is it possible to destroy someone's career more than once? Because if that's possible, we might be embarking on that journey. But again, as I said, the reason I feel comfortable doing this is because he is not doing this anymore. He did this for a week and then stopped. Humza, I don't know how to say his name. Humza, Krumza, Humza, Krumza. He actually has a video with the 20 elephants in 20 minutes. And it spiked up for him. And that's apparently where Red found that initial strategy. And Blue says, because the Malay build you use seems to come from him. He says, yeah, credits to the god himself. And now, Just Savior, like, I thought he was going to resign. He's not resigning. They're just chatting. Says, I knew your strategy. I was so close to stopping it. Yeah, I saw those palisades. Just Savior's like, he's bummed. He's like, man, I should have stopped that. Damn it. Well, good thing T90 doesn't make a video on the same player twice, because I don't want to be in one of his videos losing to this. I am speeding it up because Blues continues to play on and they chat a lot. But, you know, Blue is just... He's still in this game. He really is still in this game. He could have done a bit better job of saving some villagers earlier. I think MSG also kind of stopped playing there a bit. Blue is making more militia, and he is attacking red at his base. Actually, screw it. Let's slow it down a little bit. I don't want to like speed up too much, but all the games here are very important to see, and every little bit from them, both the conversation and everything else is just good stuff. Now, this is a nice little touch. Blue is taking red's boar. Red started to eat that, and then the villagers had to leave. So Blue's like, yeah, I'll take that food. That's 300 food right there. And typically what you see, I mentioned this when I casted this live, typically what you see from the higher level players who go for TC drops is they drop the TC, and then the second yours goes down and you try and relocate, they send about 15 healthy vills to chase down your vills and vill fight you. Because you're not in a position to rebuild your TC then, and you can never have any more villagers unless you build a new TC. So that's kind of the logic, and MSG, this is probably a 1300s approach to just, you know, make them lose their will to live by dropping the TC on them, and then stopping there. I would say make it messier, continue to go crazy. MSG in my mouth played this, I think a week and a half ago now. I don't know the exact date on this, but again, it was the week after that initial upload. He was already thinking of new lies, new strategies. He's halfway to feudal. Now, give Blue a lot of credit. Finding that boar was huge, and he has a lot of farming eco going now, so he could actually go feudal soon. I also feel like maybe MSG could have farmed a bit more with that wood. We'll see what MSG wants to turn this into. Now, another thing you could do from MSG's position is you could just go Castle Age, you know, just get a market blacksmith, get a stable blacksmith. Might need a market, but yeah, just go crazy. I feel really bad for Just Savior. Just Savior says, man, I haven't won a single game today. I think Just Savior is gonna get a lot of fans after this upload. so many of you probably relate. Like, there's nothing worse than losing when you're on a like, you never want to lose to a cheese strategy when you're on a losing streak, and plus losing online games can be stressful sometimes. I just appreciate the class that Just Savior has in defeat, because it's easy to be classy when you're winning. It's not so easy to be classy when you're losing. I think we all know that. And he says, come on, dude, 11. Almost like, give it a break, dude. As MSG towered here and was able to deny farm space and also take out 2 villagers. Maybe Just Savior's continuing to play right now because he is a bit tilted and a bit frustrated. But he's on his way to feudal. And he's got with freaking 9 militia that he could upgrade to man-at-arms. That's no joke. One of the weirder mini-maps you'll ever see. Guys, I have a confession. I've actually been enjoying watching 1300 rated players tonight. I've been going through so many recorded games of different players to try and find different legends and find different games for uploads. And I feel like it's the solid level where players, they have more than enough grasp of the game, both mentally and mechanically, but not so much so that comebacks aren't possible from a lot of positions. And I feel like it really is, it's a level that I should get into a bit more, right? Obviously, you're always going to say, like, that person should have done this, right? But that person is not a top 20 player. And I don't know what you guys think about casting this level, but, like, this is something you'd never see at higher levels. Or at least not, you know, it wouldn't develop at the same pace. And I like the variety I've been seeing in the recorded games. It's good for me mentally, too, because I've been doing Age of Empires for half a decade now. Which, by the way, if we ever hit 250,000 subscribers, I'll be doing the real longest game ever, which I think is over 20 hours. I'm very excited for it, and I'm very excited for that milestone too. I hate to say it, but the support's been so good. I'm like almost, I'm ready. Like, come on, let's go. Let's get to that crazy game. Oh, poor Xavier, not having his night, losing the militia to the town center fire. Red has scouts, and a lot of them. We haven't seen much from them yet. They were in that stable. But yeah, I never thought I'd be excited for that milestone, just because of the consequences of it. But I am looking forward to it. Most of you probably don't even know who Russ DM is at this point, or have forgotten, so that'll be a good change of pace when the time comes. So yeah, I'm working in different videos back into my schedule. If most of you didn't catch it, I was moving, adapting to living with the woman, and just getting used to a new stream schedule, a new setup and everything. And it took me about a month to feel like I was able to get back in business with the quality uploads. And this is one of them. All right, so went in a little bit of a rant sesh here. I'm actually going to speed it up because Just Savior is, spoilers, not really going to be in a good spot here. We have another game to show you, the big finale. Even if you're trying to think like, wow, what would T90 show? Like, what is it? Is it just another game from him? Does an angel appear from heaven during the video? What happens? You probably won't be able to figure this one out because it's different. And I just saw it before recording this, and I was laughing my ass off. So, like, Just Savior, I think, was playing on because of tilt, as I mentioned. He seems to be a really nice guy, despite being tilted. And I appreciate the fact he's not giving it up here. But MSG is now in the Castle Age, is way ahead in villagers. And Just Savior says, well, you've won 11. Dang, not gonna lie, dude. I've been on a losing streak, and I don't know why, man. It feels bad to lose 11. Everybody say Just Savior is... Everyone say, I want Just Savior to be my friend in YouTube comments. That might be a bit weird, actually, with hundreds of people saying that. But Just Savior is a really cool guy. He says, anyways, GG, bye. Just Savior, you're a bro. All right? Thank you. Thank you, Just Savior, for being what the Age of Empires community is about and being honest and truthful and kind at all times. Maybe MSG could learn. No, I'm kidding. MSG isn't mean, per se, but he's a little fibber. Now, Just Savior's, he's old news. I was looking through recent games from MSG in my mouth to see what he's up to after the Persian douche, and I found this game. Now, you'll notice that MSG in my mouth is Malay, just as he did in the first episode. He picked Malay. And Malay are fantastic on this. It looks like Red was AFK at the start. Because of the elephants being able to shred the palisade walls and then shred TCs and surprise people at this level. So we have seen what Blue is going to try to do before. Now, do me a favor. Read Red's name backwards. At first, I was like reading it, left to right. Dekuad Tog Uwoy. And I was like, what language is that? Should I look this up? What on earth? And then I realized, you got douched. So MSG in your mouth, or my mouth, for a long time, was lying to people, saying he didn't mean to pick Malay. He would make a bunch of elephants by going fast castle on a map with no early pressure, and then he would win. All right? Not all the time, but he got a lot of wins with it. Then I kind of spoiled his strategy, and he decided that he could be the most annoying if he were to town center drop people by picking Persians, which he did for a week. He had a 100% win rate with it. And me trying to do my homework on the player to find out what he's still up to, saw this game, decided to see if he would speak to his opponent, which he has not done yet. And what did I find? A guy with hundreds of games. Hundreds. I'm not talking just like 20 games and he created this account last week, so he's an obvious smurf. No, he just got housed to 10 pop. Hundreds of games. He only picks Persians. Now, I have gone through other games from Red, and that's going to be a future video. But, oh my god. Like, We just hit the jackpot. We just hit the freaking jackpot. Never before have I been investigating a legend and found another legend. I've casted 2 legends playing against each other, Nobru and Huang, the guys who have very distinct strategies at the higher level. But no, I've never, ever encountered anything like this before. And I'm so excited because MSG, who's not said anything yet, so he's not chatting, he's not actually lying anymore. Maybe he's changed his ways. Maybe his mom found out. His mom probably watches my channel. She does, I've confirmed it. But anyways, moving on from that, he's still picking Malay. He's still going for his thing. And is he going to be able? Oh, I have 2 very, very big questions. First off, is Red going to be able to town center drop someone on a map with palisade walls? Don't you need to bust through the palisades first? Blue should be experienced with the town center drop, right? I mean, MSG in my mouth did it for a solid week with a 100% win rate. And then the second question is MSG in my mouth going to be able to still fast castle and still surprise the opposition and destroy their town center with elephants if the town center is on his face? We're about to find out, okay? We are about to find out. Now, the start was a bit rocky for Red. He got housed. And now I'm looking at the Rhino lore, and it's probably not his best ever. But the whole idea of the Persian douche strategy, which has existed for years, is to get enough wood. Oh, God, this lumber efficiency is like... Oh, man, this is why you put villagers on either side of the lumber camp right here. That's 20 wood just standing there. But anyways, you get enough wood to build the TC. You send normally 10-ish villagers forward, and then you go to town. Now, it is unlike MSG in my mouth to not talk. In all the games that I've looked at, he's been very talkative. This game actually happened this week. And truthfully, while I've gone through some of MSG's games from like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I only looked through his profile of this week to see that he is picking Malay more frequently on Hideout. And he doesn't seem to be doing anything like really funky. He seems to be playing standard now. Except for Hideout, he'll still try this. So I don't know like if he stopped lying or whatever. Maybe he didn't feel like it because everyone knows what he's going to do anyways. But yeah, here he comes with the scout. He clearly sees that Red is running across the map. Now remember, Just Savior tried to stop him from dropping the TC by building palisades. We'll see if Blue does that. Blue's following the vills. Okay, the guy's Persians. And now he wants to build walls behind his walls. Now, Red puts a different spin on this strategy. A spin I've never seen with the town center drop. So it's not just the fact that his name is You Got Douched. It's also how he ends up playing this, which is interesting. Just keep an eye out for it. Okay. Now, he will actually know that the enemy has placed another layer of palisade walls there because of the way the flags are shown. It's not a feature, it's a bug. It's one of those types of deals, but they should know that the enemy is going to try and wall. As villagers are actually amazing against palisade walls, and Red is going to break through here, no problem. Here the scouts are fighting. It looks like Blue's going to win that, but I think Red wins that, right? Red wins that with 3 HP. He'll know the opponent's town center's around here somewhere. Here come the palisade walls. What did Rubenstock say? It makes the defender look like an idiot. Is this going to work for Red? Uh-oh, he's lost a villager already. I'm sending this one over here. Oh, boy, distraction needed. Another lady goes down. Blue is thinking, oh, we've got this. We've got this. And Red still has not actually hit that TC, and there it is. Now, one thing you can do against that is you can immediately garrison your vills, and you can right-click the TC. When it's low HP like that, you could actually destroy the foundation. And so Blue, who has a villager lead and has a working town center, is going to try and kill more villagers with this. Red, though, quick-walled to the point where he has 5 villagers building. The 6th villager is over here. At home, Red has some eco working. Now, Red is experienced enough to even put a villager on stone, thinking, I might need not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 town centers, and I'll need the stone later. And this is the variation of the strat that I've never seen before. Walling the opponent in while TC dropping them. Because what happens? When you TC drop someone, they flee. they relocate. But if you wall them in, they can't do that. Let's look at Blue's reaction. Again, he's the memer. He's the liar. He's the guy who did this for a week after the oops, I meant to pick Magyar strategy. He's now on his way to feudal age with that town center. He's taking the advice that most people have given people who have failed against this in the YouTube comments. And just let the TC go down. Don't invest extra resources into keeping it up because that's what they want. And then wait until the proper time to build a new TC yourself. So it looks good for him to rebuild the TC. It looks good for him to maybe make a barracks and archer range and make some archers. Now, Red did miss a palisade here. Red sending another villager over here. Now, there's not an awful lot stopping Blue from leaving right now. If he just pays attention to it, he'll see what's going on here. But he also might not care if he feels like, oh, I'm in the lead. Whatever, I killed villagers. I'm fine. He's getting loom at the moment. We'll see what Red ends up doing. Now, the beautiful thing about the Persian douche is your TC is always up. And if done correctly, you are going to have plenty of food eco at home. So you can constantly create villagers. Red actually decides to just go feudal. He's deleting some of these palisade walls. Blue farming a lot. And has plenty of wood, so I say go for it. You're going to need food eco. I just wonder where Blue will build the TC. The thing about the Persian douche strategy is it's very easy to say after the fact what someone should or should not have done. And I, having faced up against this many times, against players like Yupe and Rubenstock, and Vivi, I have made the mistake that MSG in my mouth just made so many times where I try and make a tower to defend a resource or deny a resource, and then I can't immediately build my next town center. So he's placed a tower there, and Red is Vill rushing right now. Again, these are 1,300 players, so don't expect the best micro. Sorry, 1,300 players. And it's just hectic. What's going on here? Blue doesn't know what to do. He wants to finish the tower. He also wants to wall. Red's just chilling here right now. I really don't know what Red was looking to accomplish with the Vill fight here. Again, an optimized TC drop would be stay in Dark Age, save that food for villagers, and just rush very early. Red did not do that. Again, as I brought up in this video, kind of the beauty of this elo. What you could do, though, is you could make towers in feudal. And you could make walls. You could do that in Dark Age as well, but here comes some more walls. There's still a gap here for Blue to get out. Maybe Blue's logic was, well, he doesn't realize that I can always leave. Blue's now making a blacksmith. And it looks like MSG in my mouth really wants to go Castle Age still. No archer range. No stable. Just blacksmith market. Okay, there's the stable. Excuse me. Red wants to make more walls just in case the going gets rough at some point. And I've never seen anything like this before, guys. And it's against a guy who was trolling so many other people. Someone said, imagine Fatslob playing MSG in my mouth. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think I want to see Fatslob play You Got Douched. Speaking of Fatslob, we'll have some Fatslob in a week or two for those that miss him and miss the classic age and want an update on the guy. He's still out there. It seems like Red is saving up for something. He's going to place a tower here. Blue is obviously just saving up for the Castle Age where he wants to make elephants. Will Blue be able to get the better of this person who I'm sure surprised him? Normally Blue is on the end of dishing out the memes. He's the server. He's the waiter. You Got Douched this time is delivering a fresh meme meal. If you guys could have heard my giggle, like my cackle when I saw this game for the first time, though, like, I really should just... No, I can't do that. I was going to say I should just record all my all the recs that I go through and just cast it, but I'd be casting a lot of bad games. And the 1 in a million wouldn't be worth the reaction. Okay, so Red wants to drop a TC, and Blue actually denies it with a house. Red wanted to drop a TC. Now he palisades the tree. Blue sees this. And that's huge for MSG in my mouth because now Red doesn't have the town center. He still can't place the town center. He has a tower here. He's on his way to Castle Age, and he's defending with Vils. So yes, this is crazy from Red. And yes, it's something that I was not expecting to see, and probably MSG in my mouth wasn't expecting to see it either. But perhaps Blue understands the strategy too much. Perhaps it's just not going to be his day. Red's day, that is, as he tries to finish this town center. He has 26 total villagers, and there's 9 here trying to complete the TC. See if he can get it up. It's halfway, and Blue could make some elephants. He's actually going for a knight right now. Interesting that he's going for a knight, and he's also misclicked. I can't say misclicked, but he just has not selected his individual villagers on Red's villagers, giving Red a lot of time. Red has 8 villagers here, maybe 7, maybe 6 in a second, but it looks to me like that town center is still going to go up. Okay, so Blue's in Castle Age. This is so freaking messy. He now can't leave his base because there are palisade walls everywhere. Red did end up closing that gap. He is going over here to berries, and Red is going to decide to try and make spears alongside the TCs. And I guess if there's any civ that you're going to go feudal spearman against Cav with, it's probably great to do it Persians against Malay, because Malay Cav do not get the second armor upgrade. Elephants are still really good. I mean, like 4 or 5 elephants should be fantastic here. We'll see what Red can do. At home, if you're wondering what he's doing, he's going to take gold. He's actually getting man-at-arms. That's a bit surprising. Blue seems to be in the driver's seat, being in Castle Age. 30 villagers against 27. 27 total, but Red has many idle. And Red's TC isn't even shooting Blue's TC now. Again, I'm telling you, if Red just learns to Vill Rush immediately after, his win rate will be much higher. That's what's terrifying about this strat. Like, it could be optimized to the point where it works at any level. I've seen Rubenstock do it in tournaments with Finland. In team games, where You Got Douched also does this. Something I may or may not show in that video where we dive into his strategies and how he likes to play the game. Again, hundreds of games, count center dropping people on virtually any map. Imagine the possibilities when Islands is in the map pool. But yeah, as funny as that is, I think Blue has done well. And barring a few big mistakes from Blue, I'm not really seeing how things change here. Red did attempt to wall in his opponent. He did end up walling in his opponent. But if Siege and Elephants come out, I think it's going to be bad news bears for You Got Douched. No conversation whatsoever from MSG in my mouth. Pretty unlike him to not chat. Does have 15 working farmers in this small little base of his. He wanted his elephants. It took him longer, but he will have the elephants here. I think wait for elephants and 2 or 3 rams. I mean, 3 rams is certainly enough. Is a Persian TC, remember. 2 rams probably enough if Red doesn't have the military. All depends on how much Red is able to afford to make. Red's still trying, getting wheel right now. And here come the Elephantos. They do have scale barding. TCs will do decent damage to them if they attack. But I don't think it's going to be enough if rams show up, as I said. Remember, the elephants are cheap for MSG to make. And MSG says, bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's funny to me. Like, it's enough trash talking where, like, I'm personally not someone who's a huge fan of going over the top with trash talk. At least I wouldn't, right? When it comes to other people, I think something like bye-bye is fine. You don't want to be too aggressive with it. I don't want our community to turn into other communities. But that gets a good chuckle out of me. And maybe even if I was in Red's position, I'd probably chuckle as well. Red has not said anything, and Red is still desperate here. And I feel like the type of player who's going to play hundreds of games with this strategy is also the type of player who's going to be stubborn, who's not going to resign right away. And he tried to keep the TC up, but MSG in my mouth with his Malay elephants will destroy this TC. whether red likes it or not. I don't know what you do here. Red, you've actually walled yourself into the enemy base. Like, actually, he could go out this way, I suppose. MSG in my mouth says again, bye-bye. Why aren't you resigning? And the villagers are going to get slaughtered. If red wants to, he could always build a TC back here and try and boom. But blue's already in Castle Age with way more eco. And the elephants could just stampede across the map. What a treat. So as I said, there will be another video. It will be the legend of You Got Douched. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you his games. Because initially I thought this is a player who probably has another account, who plays normal, and then when he wants to like bash people with TC drops, he switches over. But guys, that's all he does. I'm talking team games and 1v1s. And he plays so much that I don't think he does anything else. I could be wrong. I have no real way of knowing if he has other accounts out there. But he does this a lot. And they happen to butt heads at the 1300 level. I mean, my goodness. What a game. And what a finale to that video. So, yes, according to MSG in my mouth, I may or may not have ruined his whole career. And for that, I apologize. However, he hasn't been doing it as frequently. He actually, in one game, picked Magyars when he previously was saying, oops, I meant to pick Magyars. I thought that was funny. He didn't say anything, though. He didn't say, like, oh, I meant to pick Malay. That would have been lols. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, too. I'll show you the timeline real quick for this game. I know we didn't look at the statistics too much throughout this cast as I was hopping from game to game. But MSG in my mouth did pretty well. And we might see more of him in the future. So, YouTube, give me your thoughts on everything. I want your thoughts on, first off, how MSG in my mouth changed his strategy and started lying in a different way. Is that funny to you? Is that annoying to you? Is it too much to you, or is it too little? Many people said it's really not a big deal. It's just for lulz. You know, it seems like it's a kind-hearted joke, and that's pretty much where I fall in line. And then what do you think about the guy who's You Got Douched? Do you think players are going to realize what that says? Or do you think players just don't look at it? They don't look at the names when they play. And do you think it's a strategy that people are going to struggle against? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And also would love it if you could like this video, because as I said, YouTube channel kind of slowed down as I was moving and putting a lot of effort into getting things set up to get back in business with work. And this is my work. This is my obsession. And I will be back at it. The goal is 250,000 YouTube subs by the end of the year. If we don't hit that, no worries. I'll still do that long video in the future. Thank you, everyone, for watching. There will be a video on this red player before you know it, as well as many other interesting YouTube-only casts on the channel and many, many streams on Twitch. I'm sure I'll see many of you there. Have a nice night, everyone. Have a nice day. Have a nice morning. Have a nice breakfast. Have a nice dinner. Have a nice snack. Have a... You know, I'm done. We'll see you next time.